Hello and welcome to the channel. So I'm going to be talking about Harry Kane. Now, how likely is it that we'll sign him, given that Joe Lewis, the owner of Tottenham Hotspurs, have told Daniel Levy, so the CEO of Tottenham, so the owner of Tottenham have told the CEO of Tottenham that Harry Kane cannot be allowed to leave on a free next season. So Levy's choices are force him to sign a new contract somehow, get Kane to sign a new contract, or two, sell him. And that's what he's been told he's got to do, because he can't be allowed to leave on a free in 12 months' time. So, what does that mean for Manchester United? Well, right now, Bayern Munich are the only club to have put in a bid for Kane. So their bid was rejected. It was about £65 million. So that's a starting point, isn't it? We know that as fans, we know that United are going to put a bid in. It's going to have to be greater than £65 million up front. So that's what it was. I think there may have been some add-ons as well on top of that, but I don't have that information. But what does that mean? So it means that Kane most likely will leave Tottenham this summer. But how likely is he going to be a Manchester United player? The issue for United obviously comes down to money. So with Onana bought and Mason Mount in, we've spent about 105, maybe 110 million pounds already of what was touted as a 120 million pound budget. So where's the money going to come from? I mean, obviously, then the money has to come from sales. Now, I can't think if you're looking at paying about 100, somewhere between say 90 and 120 million pounds for Harry Kane, but you can bet that Tottenham will hold out for as much as they can get, because ultimately, yeah, Lewis wants to sell, but I don't know if he said sell at any cost, and whether he's actually said to Daniel Levy, look, this is the minimum we need to get for Harry Kane, because ultimately they still have to replace Harry Kane, and they'll have to replace Harry Kane in this transfer window. So that also creates other kind of talking points, doesn't it? Like how will they drag it out, or will they decide, okay, we're going to sell him, let's start negotiating with other clubs and start looking for alternatives straight away? But what does that mean for Manchester United? I mean, obviously it does mean that we need to sell, but I can't think, sitting here, how we raise 100, say potentially 120, anywhere between 90 and 120 million pounds from sales. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, we possibly could, but it would mean offloading so many players and negotiating with so many other clubs over transfer fees that historically United can't do that in a season. United can't in one transfer window. We can't do it in two or three. So I think it would need an injection of cash from the Glazers. And on that, there was a talk a couple of weeks ago that they were raising Ten Hag's budget to 170. But now I don't know whether that meant 170 in new cash, which would have taken the transfer budget to 290. But that seems unrealistic, doesn't it? So instead, I'm thinking what they meant, well, they were raising it to 170. So that meant there'd been an extra 50. So if we've already spent 105, let's say, that means there's 65 million left. And maybe that was to get the Rasmus Højlund kind of deal over the line. But with Atalanta holding out for stupid money for a guy who probably wouldn't hit the ground running in the Premier League, so they're wanting about £86 million, I believe, which is absolutely ridiculous. And you might as well just say he's not for sale. You know, they just don't want to sell him. I can't see anyone paying £86 million for Rasmus Højlund. I know United had some kind of cash plus players and or 50 million up front and then X amount of millions over so many years, or based on performance, or the add-ons based on performance. But Atalanta don't want that. One, they don't want players, and two, they only want straight cash. So why am I talking about Højlund? Well, obviously, Højlund wasn't United's first choice. Harry Kane was, or is. And then Osimhen, isn't it? But Osman obviously is completely out of the picture. As far as I know, he's staying where he is. He's in contract. Um, he doesn't need to be sold. So that's that. So back to Harry Kane. There was always this rumour about Kane and the fact that he doesn't want to play abroad. He wants to stay in the UK, but he wants to break this Premier League record. And then over the last couple of months, there's been chatter. If you're watching other YouTube channels like United Stand or United People's TV or whoever else you might watch or listen to Talk Sport, let's say here in the UK, they kind of poo-pooed that idea or talked down that idea that Harry Kane wouldn't move abroad. Is that true? Isn't it true? I don't know. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it will depend on how much he wants to leave Tottenham. Now, I know Tottenham is his club. It's his boyhood club. It's like one of us as United fans suddenly being able to play for Man United. You'd want to stay there for as long as you could, and if there was a way of staying there and being happy, you'd actually find that way. But I think for Kane, the writing's been on the wall for his staying at Tottenham for a couple of years now. So the likelihood of him actually leaving, I'd say he's probably 60-40, 60% chance he definitely will leave, 40% chance he'll actually stay. Purely based on the stay is purely based on the fact that he's a supporter of that club anyway. But as United are concerned, where United are bidding for Kane, it's just all about finances. And my problem would be if we are even considering spending £86 million on Rasmus Højlund, which I sincerely hope we're not. But if we are, could we not raise a little more money from somewhere? Could we not maybe not break the bank? That's probably I know FFP as well. There's that an issue there. But ultimately, the Glazers must be sitting on some kind of contingency, rainy day kind of fund money, which if Ten Hag desperately, because we do need goals. Without goals next season, adding a midfielder, adding an Arna, is really not going to do too much to, what's happening at the other end of the pitch. Because we can't rely on Marcus Rashford for another 30-goal season. The lad's not an out-and-out striker. I know lots of people think he can play, and he can play there, but he is not a specialist. He's no Harry Kane. There's not much chance he's going to have 2 seasons in a row of 30 goals. It'll probably more sink back towards his mid-teens kind of goal production. So a striker, a proven striker again, and we've been talking about this for months. So I don't want to just be repeating myself, but it's what we're all thinking. It's what we're all talking about when we're talking to other United fans is a striker, and and there's all this Amrabat story. There's another midfielder. At the end of the day, striker is a priority. Striker has always been the priority, and it should now be seen to be the priority for Erik Ten Hag. I know there is talk again about Højlund and the fact that United are still trying to negotiate with Atalanta, but ultimately, I really don't think they want to sell. They don't have to sell either, and I think that's where we are. Where Kane again, I think we just have to wait and see. I mean, the press are just going to talk this up all the time, aren't they? And all we're going to have to do is just bide our time. Personally, I try to ignore the press too as much as I can, and then only kind of report or do a video on like the highlights of Harry Kane. If there's a lot of consensus out there, and the consensus is now that Joe Lewis has told Daniel Levy that if he can't get Kane to sign a new contract, then you got to sell him. You got to sell him. Personally, I think there is much more chance of us seeing Harry Kane play for Bayern Munich than there is for Manchester United. Now, that's not because Daniel Levy won't sell Harry Kane to Manchester United, because ultimately it's about money, isn't it? It's about money for Joe Lewis. And if United went in with a bigger bid, then Joe Lewis would snap her hands off. So that's just the way that is. Just personally, I think it's more due to the fact that United just don't have the money and won't be able to generate the money to put in a significant bid for Harry Kane, and that's it. I mean, you let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think United have a chance of signing Harry Kane? And if so, where's the money coming from? I mean, yeah, okay, you can say, well, we will sell this player, that player, this player, but do you really have the confidence in United doing those deals quickly before the end of the transfer window and getting Harry and then generating that cash, getting all those deals done to get Kane through the door? Because don't you've got to negotiate with all those clubs that you're selling the players to. You know, negotiate with the player, negotiate with their agents, negotiate with the clubs, and getting as much money as you can, which United are renowned for being absolutely terrible at. And then negotiate with Daniel Levy to get Harry Kane, all before the start of the new season. I just don't think it's realistic. I really don't, and that's why I think Harry Kane will most likely, if he doesn't sign a new contract at Tottenham, he'll most likely sign for Bayern Munich and be playing in the Bundesliga next season. And let me know what you think in the comments below. If you've got some kind of idea of where the money can be generated from, and if you believe that United have suddenly become this great club at negotiating with other clubs who can do all this before the start of the next season. I have absolutely no confidence in that whatsoever. So you let me know in the comments, and that's all I've got to say about Harry Kane. I think maybe Randall Moani, but again, big money, big money. So again, I mean, that was just off the top of my head then. And again, it's just big money and it's too much money. But we know we can't rely on Anthony Martial. He is not, one, a good enough striker, and two, he's so injury prone that, he'll play 2 games. Might start to look like he can get about the pitch a little bit, and then all of a sudden he's gone again. And we can't have that. We just can't have it. Just can't have it. Okay, so I mean that's the end of the video. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. Share your opinion. That's all it about. It's all about opinion. And please like the video, and please subscribe and help the channel grow. Thanks for watching.